I have two locations in my mind, and the second location will be the real gem. After the storm, it means there will be a lot of clouds, and that's why I'm out here today. So what I'm going to shoot now is such a typical me shot, actually. I think A7R4 is not so bad for wildlife. All I'm saying is don't complain. Let me just share my technique. So, well, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are in Tan, which is a big national park on the west coast. Now, as you can hear, the waves are crashing in, and today the clouds are absolutely beautiful. So, we're gonna make some seascape photos, and also this is only my first location. I have two locations in my mind, and the second location will be the real gem. So, watch until the end. All right, let's start. All right, so the tripod is set. Now, there's a reason why I came out today. It rained for 2 days. There was a big storm, and you know, always in Korea, well, usually, after the storm, it means there will be a lot of clouds, and that's why I'm out here today. Because clouds like this, it's such rare, you know, it's very rare to see clouds like this. It's such a beautiful day, you know, clouds and blue skies with the sun. It's absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. So as I came to this beach, the first thing I saw was that lighthouse and the island right next to it, and the beautiful sky, of course. So what I'm going to shoot now is such a typical me shot, actually, which is just putting that lighthouse and the island on the bottom third, and the top 2/3 will be the sky. And also this will be a long exposure. All right, so ISO 100, F9, bulb mode, and I'm gonna give it a 1 minute test shot. So, there we go. Now, today is actually a very special day because the second location that I have in my mind, they have two sea stacks. I actually shot it before. You can watch this video here or here. And these two sea stacks have small gap between them, and the sun will go down between these two sea stacks, just right in the middle of the gap. So it'll look absolutely amazing during the sunset. Oh well, you don't have to wait for 1 minute, so and that's for later. So this is my first location only, so let's first wait for 1 minute and we'll see how it goes.
The moment I saw this image on my big monitor, I knew it had to be black and white. The motion blurred clouds were practically screaming for dark skies, like something out of an Ansel Adams photograph. I think the shot turned out beautifully with its minimalist atmosphere and the contrast between stillness and motion. The two subjects remain frozen in time while everything around them seems to drift and dissolve. There's a subtle eeriness in that tension, something I find deeply captivating.
All right, so for my next shot, I need my wide angle lens. Now what I have in my mind is that there are these seashells on the shoreline, and I think I can emphasize them and use them as my foreground interest. And you know, the water coming in and going out, that motion blur of you know, long exposure motion blur as well. And also the lighthouse and the island that I shot for my first shot will be my background interest. So I think it'll be a good shot as well. And also, here's a pro tip. Always bring a lens cloth, because you never know when you're gonna need them. So, there you go. All right, let's shoot this. All right, so, let me just breathe a little bit. Ah, man, my legs. So I just made my foreground shot. Now I'm gonna make my background shot. So my idea was to shoot two shots, the foreground and the background. So the foreground will be the seashells and the tide going back to the sea, which will leave this white foam line, and the lines, these motion blurred lines will be, you know, the anchor. They will be the leading lines towards the lighthouse and the island. And the background shot, I mean, the farthest point is basically just to, you know, capture the sky and the Lighthouse and the island with the correct exposure. Now I've got my polarizer and 10 stop run, so that gave me, how many seconds did it give me? 1.6 seconds, ISO 640 and f11. So I made my first shot actually before I shot this video, because no matter how the hell many times I tried to capture me shooting this shot with that perfect wave, you know, perfect sized wave, I just couldn't. And of course, when I turned off your video camera, this camera, the wave came in and I made the shot. So I'm sorry I couldn't show you that, but still, so I made that shot, and of course I just captured the farthest point. So I'm gonna blend them together in Photoshop, and here's the result. There you go. Man, that was hard to make the shot.
This photo turned out a little disappointing, and I can't quite put my fingers on why. Everything I wanted is there. The seashells as my foreground interest, the lighthouse and the island as secondary subjects. But something feels off. Still, I've chosen to share it because even a failure is a part of the journey.
So as I was trying to go back to my car and go to my second location, I actually found a small Oystercatcher right there. So I think I'm gonna change my lens and try to shoot it. You probably can't see from that camera, and that camera doesn't have any, you know, telephoto zoom kind of ability. So it's full of sand. So just hold on a second, yeah? Okay. All right, guys, so I'm sorry about the horrible audio quality and the video quality, but I'm shooting this with my phone because I forgot to bring my Osmo. Now, the Oystercatcher is like only 50 meters away from me, so I think I'm ready to shoot it soon. I'm just slowly creeping up behind it, and it knows I'm following it, so I'm just slowly, but the birds in Korea are not skittish, so it's fine. I'm not bothering it, it's just hunting. All right, let's shoot it. Ooh, it's really hot.
I apologize for not capturing any B-roll of me photographing this bird, but I had to move quickly. People were approaching, and any moment it could have flown away. Still, the rush was worth it. I managed to capture this beautiful shot. The soft light illuminating the scene, and the bird's vibrant orange beak shining like a tiny jewel. This photo truly made my day.
So that was successful, that Oystercatcher shot. Often people ask me, because I use the Sony A7R4, why do I use the A7R4 for birding? People ask me why. Because, you know, there are much better cameras that shoot like 30 frames per second or 50 frames per second. I don't even know these days. But I want to tell you that 10 years ago, 10 frames per second, which is what my A7R4 is capable of, was the best. Because 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, actually more than 10 years ago, when Canon released the 70 Mark II, I believe, yeah, I think that's what it's called. That thing was like super revolutionary, because the cameras back then, DSLRs, they couldn't shoot more than 10 frames per second, but this thing could shoot 10 frames per second. And therefore, people were saying, oh, it's such a revolutionary camera for bird shooters or animal shooters. And animal shooters? I mean, wildlife photographers, not bang bang kind of shooters, but click click like a shooters. So yeah, so, you know, to be honest, I think as technology is advancing towards the better way and the faster way, sometimes people just forget that 10 years ago, 10 frames per second was actually the best they could have. And I have no problem shooting birds with my A7R4. And plus, A7R4 has a very large sensor, so often I can crop a lot, which is something that I really love to do. So yeah, I think A7R4 is not so bad for wildlife. I mean, of course, there are better options, but I'm just saying, if that's the limit that you have, 10 frames per second, then all I'm saying is don't complain because it's good enough. All right, let's go to our next location. All right, so you can tell that this is my nightmare because there's a lot of people around me, and it's still because it's still holiday, Korean Thanksgiving. So all right, so as you can see, the sun just came out. It's basically really bright, and I can't open my eyes fully. Okay, so ISO 200, f16, 10 seconds. Now this should give me a fast or slow enough shutter speed so that the sun will look like a sunstar and it won't be hazy, because the sun is going down really slowly, and 10 seconds should be enough to capture it as where it is, not moving, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest. I'm just shooting it like that. And it's beautiful. Yeah, it's quite good. So thankfully the sun, as suncalc.org said, is right in the middle, in between these two sea stacks or two islands, so which is really nice. So gonna make a couple of more shots, and here's my shot. Absolutely stunning. Oh, my eyes.
Just before the sun fully met the horizon, there was a fleeting moment when it set perfectly between the two rocks. I was able to capture the scene, with a touch of motion blur in the skies. I stopped down to f16 to create a sunstar, and it appeared exactly as I had hoped. A small, perfect burst of light in the frame.
Okay, so I have a new idea. I'm just gonna shoot the island that's on the right with the sun, because as the sun is going down, it's creeping towards the island that's on the right. So probably in like a few minutes, there's only like 20 minutes left until the full sunset, until the sun hits the horizon. So until then, I just positioned my camera towards the rock on the right, towards the island on the right. So as the sun is going down, it will creep into my frame, and that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, so we'll wait and see. I'm sorry I can't change my camera angles like from different views and stuff, because there are so many people, and you know, this place, I just occupied it basically, so I can't move away from here or else someone will block my shot. So please excuse me. My videos are usually not like this. Alright, so I'm here to shoot my last shot, and let me just share my technique. So when you're doing a long exposure shot, for example, right now I'm at ISO 100, f16, 20 seconds, press the shutter, and the sun is on the left, so I'm going to do this. Cover the sun with my hand and keep moving my hand. Basically, it's like a grad filter. When you don't have a grad filter, when you're using Kase filter or some kind of ND filter that doesn't have any grad features, then you can do this. Basically, use your hand and just keep doing this on the side where you don't want more light to hit in the sensor part, that part of the sensor, and then you can block the light a little bit. So what I just did was that I want to shoot the island and the sun together, but I want the island to be, you know, I want the shadows to be, you know, recovered. So that's why I shot it for 20 seconds, and the sun is too bright, so I had to block a little bit of light from the sun part. So I just covered the half of my lens from here and covered the sun. So see my shot. Yeah, it's great. So the left side is not that bright as I covered it a little bit, and the right side is exposed quite well, although it's too dark to recover all the shadows. Anyways, I did what I could, so here's my shot.
The fading light of day cast a warm orange glow, and everything was ready. I just had to press the shutter. With autumn arriving in Korea, the days grow shorter and the air cooler. I have some photography trips planned for later this year, promising new scenes of this beautiful country, and I can't wait to share them with you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and check out this video next. Thank you as always, and see you next time.